And on International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction, October 13, we hear from Ms. Pauline Temeses, UN Resident Coordinator in Vietnam, on how the United Nations and Vietnam are working together to strengthen disaster resilience. Thank you for joining the program today. How is Vietnam working with the United Nations to strengthen early warning system, improve weather forecasting capacity, and enhance training for better management and leadership at local levels in disaster response?
The UN is a long-standing partner of Vietnam in disaster preparedness and resilience building. Our collaboration covers the range of efforts from integrating disaster preparedness education in school curricula to building risk knowledge capacity through training, advancing the use of disaster loss and risk data for better forecasting and anticipatory action, strengthening governance and coordination, such as through the Disaster Risk Reduction Partnership, and supporting national implementation plans for climate adaptation and early warning systems. Currently, we are developing a scenario-based contingency plan that prepares for disaster seasons in advance. The contingency plan will help address capacity gaps, ultimately enhancing local preparedness and response capabilities. We are aware of the need for enhanced training on community-based disaster risk management. This means conducting community drills together with necessary equipment for first responders at community level. This includes search and rescue items, first aid kits, rescue boats, electricity generators. All are needed to strengthen communities' preparedness and resilience.
And how is the UN helping Vietnam strengthen international cooperation and community awareness in disaster risk reduction?
The UN is committed to support Vietnam in enhancing multi-stakeholder cooperation and community engagement, aligned with government priorities and guidance. We stand ready to facilitate connections with international expertise and resources while respecting national leadership in disaster reduction initiatives. For example, through the Education Sector Group, co-chaired by UNICEF and the Ministry of Education and Training, we facilitate coordination among development partners, NGOs, and embassies. We also support youth participation through skills training, policy dialogues, empowering young people to contribute to climate action and disaster resilience in their communities. UN support will be provided and continue to be provided upon request and in close coordination with relevant national counterparts.
And could you share your assessments of Vietnam efforts in recent years reduce disaster risk, especially through the recent storms, and what further action Vietnam should take to strengthen its disaster preparedness and resilience?
Vietnam has shown strong leadership in disaster risk reduction and resilience building, especially through the government co-led Disaster Risk Reduction Partnership. VDDMA has been crucial in providing timely warnings and information during recent storms such as Ragasa, Boloy, and Matmo, enabling effective preparedness and response. All disaster relief activities during these typhoons were successfully carried out under government's coordination. We encourage all partners to actively participate in the DRRP platform, share information, coordinate actions to ensure efficient use of resources, and avoid duplication. With Vietnam on the front lines of climate change, UN support to building long-term resilience is anchored on a comprehensive and whole-of-society approach. This means integrating disaster resilience in efforts to adapt and mitigate climate change. This means ensuring that Vietnam has shock-responsive social protection systems that leave no one behind. This also means digital transformation and innovation continue to provide breakthroughs for early warning, preparedness, response, and recovery. Together, under Vietnam's leadership, we can create a safer and more resilient future for all.
Thanks, Ms. Pauline Temeses, UN Resident Coordinator in Vietnam, for joining us.